Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Beyond the Farthest Star, Chronicles #1 from American Mythology. So this is a reprint of DC Comics stories from the 1970s based on a lesser-known Edgar Rice Burroughs novel. And so American Mythology is already putting out new stories set in this same solar system, and it's called Beyond the Farthest Star, Warriors of Xandar, starring a new character named Victory Harbin, who is in the new novels coming out from Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated. But what we're looking at today is Beyond the Farthest Star Chronicles, which is the reprint series. So let's start with the cover. It's unusual, to put it mildly. Things I like about it are the colors are very interesting. It's very interesting to have a cover that's just basically different shades of purple. The high contrast. It's an intriguing image. However, I don't know if it really sells me on the book inside or really tells me anything about it. And honestly, having read it, I'm not sure what this cover has to do with the interiors. Perhaps it's a scene from later in the story, maybe next issue. Really, all I can tell is that there looks like a man in a loincloth shooting what looks like a lion. Maybe you can make this out and tell that it's a science fiction ship or something, but for the most part, you really can't tell it's on another planet unless you just read the title of it. It's not my favorite cover, but it is an interesting one. So I guess let's talk about the reproduction of the art first. It is rough, and what I mean by rough is just the texture that you can see. You can see all this graininess. The colors don't reproduce as nicely as they should either. There's also no attempts to correct anything that was in the original. If it misprinted or someone slipped while they were coloring, it's still in here. Like this poor guy looks like he got it shot in the head, and it's just, I guess someone's hand slipped while they were trying to paint his hair. So overall, if it didn't print well in the original, it's going to print worse here. And this is a little disappointing because American Mythology has already done a reprint of comics from the 70s with Carson of Venus, Pirates of Venus, and it turned out much better. So take this page as an example from the Carson of Venus comic. This is how it was originally printed. You can see how thin those lines are and all that, right? This is how it printed originally. And here it is in the American Mythology reprint, and you can see how much more of those lines just pop, how much easier it is to see the artwork, and just how nice it looks. It captures the original look, and also enhances it. And so what is the difference between these two reprint comics? Mike Wolfer is credited with doing the production and design on this older one, and he left the company and did not work on this one. So that may be the difference here. I'm not sure. All I can tell you is that I really wish they could have done the same thing for this one that they did with the Carson of Venus. So even with the reproduction issues, which I am a little disappointed in, it is still the very best way to pick up these stories if you're looking to get them for cheap, because this is only $4, and if you go and look up the Tarzan issues that these were printed in originally, it would set you back. So this is reprinting backup stories in Tarzan 213 through 216 that were printed in the 1970s by DC Comics. You're talking about a Marv Wolfman story with Dan Green art, and the final chapter is illustrated by Howard Chakin. And one thing that makes this reprint series unique is that it's 2 issues, with the second one solicited currently for June 29th. So it's going to be a little bit, but what they're saying is that they're going to reprint the last couple chapters of the Beyond the Farthest Star stuff from DC, and then they're going to do new material to kind of wrap it up. So that's going to be very unique and interesting. And so this is probably what you would call a loose adaptation. It's very similar to going to see a DC or Marvel movie, right? They keep a few elements from the comics and then just create a completely new story with new versions of the characters. Same thing happens here. So some of the vague elements they keep from the novel. Tangor is still a World War II pilot who gets shot down. He ends up on an alien planet in a perpetual state of war with a city that will lower itself into the ground to avoid a bombing raid. This is actually similar to the much, much later anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, which actually has city that does the same thing. The aliens look human and they have ships that can get in aerial dogfights, and that's pretty much the ending of the similarities between the novel and these stories. In the novel, Tangor becomes involved in their war, and judging from the synopsis, it is kind of a somber war story. Here, Tangor just kind of takes off in his ship and goes on adventures and meets a lot of different alien species that are not in the novel, including these fishmen. And he gets to fight a one-eyed octopus and stuff like that. And even with the reproduction issues, the artwork is well rendered. And just in case you're wondering, this is what the Howard Chakin artwork looks like. And so, yeah, despite the production issues, this is still a good way to read these stories. So if you're interested in those old DC Comics versions of the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff, this is a good one to pick up. And I have done a review of all 4 of the Edgar Rice Burroughs comics that ship from American Mythology this week. So check those out, like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, see ya.